Hello everyone and welcome back to my subscribers. If you're not already a subscriber, I'll put a link here for you. Today I'm going to answer a question about the slides and how to get the firing pins out in the firing pin block and such. And there's two different types for the 1911. There's the Series 80 and there's the Series 70. So in this video here I'm going to show you the Series 80 and how to get the firing pin out and the little parts that are involved with it. I've got the Para LDA. If you haven't seen the video on this, I'll put a link here for you. This particular gun is a Series 80, and you can tell if your gun's a Series 80 by looking at the slide once you've taken it off and it has that little hole right there, the little plunger, then your gun is a Series 80. Now what happens is this acts as a firing pin block, so there's no way that the firing pin will travel forward unless that plunger is depressed. And it gets depressed. This is kind of a bad example with the LDA, but let's see if I can pull the trigger a little bit. There's a little tab that pops up right here, and I've done this before. I show how to do these bypass the Series 80 in another video, so I'll put a link in here for you. But basically when you pull the trigger, this little piece of metal has to come up and it engages the plunger. It pushes the plunger up into the slide, which allows the firing pin to go forward. So here I'm going to show you how to get this out. So here on the back we have the firing pin. This is what the hammer strikes. So without this plunger depressed, this will not go any further, so therefore the firing pin won't come out the hole here in the front, or the bolt face. So we have to get this out. So in order to get that out, we have to press this plunger down. See how that moves in? So when this is depressed, I'm going to depress it partially with my thumb. Now the firing pin will go down. So that's how we're going to get this out. I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to stick it in and just kind of depress it as much as I need to in order to depress the firing pin. So I'm going to use my brass punch. Try to use brass because it's not going to damage your metal as much as another metal would, like a hard steel punch. So I'll press this in, and then I'm going to pull the firing pin block stop towards me, this thing right here. So pull that off, and now it's going to slide right out. Notice how the firing pin punched out? That's because I still had my finger on that. But I was able to stop it by letting it hit my finger. So we'll slide out the firing pin block, the firing pin stop, and then this will punch out the rest of the way when I depress this. So press that. Well, it's already beyond that point. So now we can pull it out. If it doesn't come out like it's doing right now, just depress on it some more, the plunger, and now here comes our firing pin and our spring. Typically the firing pin spring is attached to the firing pin itself. If you give it a twist, it'll come right off. So this is something you want to clean. Also clean inside these holes once you get them out, the firing pin hole. Now to get the plunger out. It should just come right out. I got some tweezers, and sure enough it's already popped up a little loose. So there's a spring involved, so be careful. So we'll pull that out with my tweezers. So that's the plunger, and then inside is a spring. And I'm doing this with tweezers so you could see it, but I may end up just doing it the way you would normally do it. Flip it upside down and bang on it. So there's our spring, so don't lose that. Then next we want to get our extractor out and clean that as well. So we'll pull the extractor out. Sometimes these are going to be really tight depending on how your extractor is tuned. And what I mean by that is up here at the front where the bolt face is, it could be bent and catching on the front of the bolt face, but not in this case. It actually fell right out. So I'm going to stick it back in there and pretend it's stuck here. Taking your brass punch, you'll have to push down on the extractor, give some pressure down and back towards the rear so that it will come out. I like to take the brass punch in most cases, stick it right here, and pry it, use it as a pry bar and pull it out like so. So we'll pull it out. And this is how also you can tell if you have a Series 80 or a Series 70 extractor. The Series 80 will have a notch right here. I'll throw a picture of this so you can see the difference of the two. So there's the slide takedown of the slide and the internal components. So now we got to put this back together. Once you clean it all, order of operations is going to be exactly the same. We'll take the extractor, put it in. You want to make sure it's lined up perfectly with this notch, because this is the firing pin block. I cannot get that right. fits in there really tight. So if your extractor's turned one way or another, rotated, you're not going to be able to fit it in there. So it has to be just right in this. So once we get that in, then we'll take our plunger. Doing this upside down is probably a good idea. So I'm going to do this, turn it on its side, I guess. You can do it like so, but it still is going to fall out. So we're going to turn it on its side like this. Slide that in there. If it binds on you at all, it means the firing pin or the extractor is getting caught up. So I'm going to move it a little bit more. Just have to work it around. There it goes. So now we're in there. Spring is still there. Now we're going to take our firing pin. I'm going to push the spring all the way down to where it meets the base of the firing pin. Sometimes they'll be loose, sometimes they'll be tight. It just kind of depends. Notice how it will not fit in. That's because the plunger's in the way. So I'm going to press on the plunger just a little bit. Now it goes in. And the cool thing about the Series 80 putting it back together, you see how our firing pin is sticking way up? We can't slide this on until we get that down. So I'm going to push on the plunger and press in the firing pin and then let go of the plunger, and that'll retain the firing pin below. So it's now inside. So now we're going to take the firing pin block, put it in like so. It fit nice and tight against the extractor there. And then if I just press on the plunger, the firing pin will pop up into place. So there it is. So that's the Series 80. On the upper part of the 1911, like I said, I'll put a link to the bypassing the Series 80 altogether. The video I did on that, it's an older video, so be kind. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And join me on Facebook too. I've got a lot of pictures and some other stuff on there. Plus I'll post match updates and whatnot as I shoot them. Well, thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more competition shooting and gun reviews.